So my favorite moment from this past year was when we finally got our uniforms, which we had been saving up for a while. Everybody was anticipating them. They have rhinestones, a super cute cheer thing. So that was probably the best moment from the year.
Our favorite story or moment from this year would definitely be Redbird Rumble this year. We ended up getting second overall, which is the furthest we've ever gone.
The one, my buddy Ben, he used his last name as his nickname, so he goes by Steady Stedman. And he actually, what he did, so for the first tournament, he used his nickname as his first name, so when he got announced on the stage, they said Steady Stedman. And even in the South, those guys down there couldn't believe that his actual name was Steady Stedman, and he had to explain that it was his nickname.
Yeah.
So it was just really funny. But I'm gonna have to talk about that one because that was actually a really funny moment when he did that.
For a moment, I would say one of my favorite stories is it was a solar practice, and I decided to spice things up. We're gonna do something different. As a fencing team, generally the sport goes, it's one person facing another person, so you never really get any other type of activity besides that. I decided, it'd be two people versus one person, and I decided, hey, I really like Star Wars, so I tried to use two swords, and I realized that does not work at all like the movies. I was eating trashed on. It's very hard to actually use two swords in a fight.
Yeah, I think it was when we went on spring break and we practiced all weekend during spring break, all day. So there were so many times when we all got super slap happy in the hotel and people were just messing around and having fun, and it was a blast. So.
I would say my favorite moment from this past year was when we played Illinois Wesleyan. They're girls lacrosse team there, so they're obviously a D3 athletic sport versus a club team. So going into it, we knew it was going to be a pretty big challenge, but this year we actually scored a goal against them, which we didn't get to do last year, so that was really exciting. A girl from our team, Kira, she's really talented, and it was awesome to see her score. We all came together and celebrated that, despite the fact that, we knew it wasn't going to be a win. It was just an exciting moment for our team.
Personally, mine is going to regionals and getting a bid to nationals. That's how we get our bids. Last year, unfortunately, we did not qualify. So this year was really my last chance to go, and we did it. So that was a great opportunity for us.
Not one in particular, but I think overall we did a lot of community service. So we did the Town of Normal Haunted Trail. So we wore costumes and we got to scare people. Yeah. So that was fun. One of our members scared a kid so much that he farted. So it was pretty funny.
I think my favorite moment was when we beat Ohio State in Florida. I mean, we had a walk-off in the bottom of the 7th, and that was our second year in a row knocking off a top 10 team. So that's pretty cool. I think.
Yeah, so I definitely think the alumni game that we had was my favorite moment, just because it's cool to see, people from last year who just graduated, as well as people from 20 years ago that have kids my age, that are still playing, still love the sport. You get to hear all the good stories from when they played, so that's always one of my favorite moments.
So we went to Aurora up in Chicago. People noticed that we were from Illinois State table tennis, so a lot of people came to know, oh, who are these kids all in red just everywhere? And we were all across the whole gym, so everyone knew that, okay, there's a club here that's playing. And then at the end of it, when we took a big team photo, there were some coaches that were there that wanted to take a picture with us.
Yeah. So probably my favorite moment would have to be during tennis practice. Our man Grant was out there hitting dingers, and he turned around to me and he said he was going to absolutely crack one of our tennis balls over the net to the other team we were playing. And so he winds up this big wind-up, hits the ball just flies out. It doesn't even matter where the ball went. Grant flips around, falls to the ground. Turns out he broke his tibia. Absolutely hilarious. He's on the ground in pain. We're all kind of sitting there going gee whiz, what's wrong with this guy? Helped him out. He's a good sport about it, but rest in peace, Grant's tibia that day.
Sport B. Probably basketball. We are kind of a short team, so it probably wouldn't work out, but probably basketball.
I would for sure want to play volleyball, just because it's really fun. I'm not tall enough though, but I would love to play volleyball for sure.
Well, I think it would be volleyball.
actually, some of us have played volleyball like together before, and a few of our players on the club softball team played in like high school and stuff.
I definitely have to say it'd have to be soccer.
Okay.
That's because a lot of the girls like to kick the balls around or hit it off their heads at practice and just mess around, so.
You know, I'm sure most guys on the team probably hunt. You know, we do a lot of fishing. I don't personally hunt, but I know a lot of the other guys do, so I'd have to say they'd want to be hunting if they weren't fishing.
Okay.
Yeah, we'd have to give a quick shout out to badminton or table tennis. You guys are our cousin clubs, and probably the only other sports we could accurately kind of compete in and not make a total fool of ourselves.
Well, you said swimming earlier. I don't know why.
I don't know if our club.
I
could
feel
do
like
any
I
other
would
sport.
feel like baseball, because I feel like there's like some of us at least play baseball or used to play baseball.
Yeah.
If your club had to play basketball, no questions asked, we would be playing basketball. Because at practice, you know how I get the keys.
Yeah.
And I'll just put down the nets.
Yeah.
And we're just gonna ball out.
Dodgeball, 100%. It involves everything we do as a sport: throwing, trying to make people miss, competitiveness. It's dodgeball without a doubt.
Okay.
Or for fencing, there's no really other equivalent. I would say I'll just go with Quidditch, because that's another weird one. It's not really anything like other sports, and we did actually play with the Quidditch team one time in fencing. So you know they fenced with us, so we're like, hey, it'd be cool to return the favor one day. And play.
I think we'd be pretty good at dodgeball because we play that when we're inside sometimes, and we have a lot of fun with it, and girls get pretty crazy. It's fun.
I definitely think football. I think the intensity, the contact, maybe not the intelligence part of it, but yeah, I definitely think football is where we'd be most competitive.
Maybe we can find a couple dancers on our team. Yeah, right? Rugby goes dancing. That's we all like to dance. Would we be able to be on the dance team? No, but we do like to dance. Maybe we could.
I think we'd play rugby. You know, we got a lot of absolute units on the team. You know, some alpha males. We could get out there on the pitch and scrum around and really hold our own. You know.
And there's this one kid, we call him Horse, because during one of our trips he sneezed, and he sneezed like a horse making a neigh. So when he sneezed, it's like, just like a horse name. So that's all I got for an impression.
Yep, this one's going out to Abby for all the times she's wanted to go to U of I, and it'd be Red Lion. Oh, I messed it up. Damn it.
It's not a vocal impression. This is an impression of my VP. This is how she always greets people. She just goes like, real short wave, and she doesn't say anything. She's like, hey. So that's my best impression of Katie, my VP, who is, shout out, the best VP ever.
And let's go birds. What do you say here, birds? That's all I got. That's it.
Where's my stuffed animal egg?
Who's that supposed to be?
And that's supposed to be Dion, because he has a guinea pig that's named Egg, and then he also has a stuffed animal that's named Egg that he carries around with him everywhere. So.
Then her name's Erica Sheenan. She's like 5'3", blonde. She's an AGD, and she's got some too. She's got some attitude.
I didn't want to stop her.
I mean, I just feel like we need a little backstory, but I feel like this impersonation isn't gonna go as well as it could. But she's just like, oh my god, like, I don't want to do this. I want to pass the ball. Can we just go home? And we're like, no.
There's Miguel. Everybody's smiling in a picture, and you take a group picture, like, hey, everyone smile, and Miguel will have a straight face, like, just like that. he'll hold his paddle, and he'll just be like, and everyone else is like smiling and making some funny noises, like there.
I would probably say like Mark. Yeah, boys, come on, boys.
My vice president Lindsay, she is our team mom, team spirit. She's always like, let's go ladies, let's do great and all that stuff. So
okay. Oh, hold on. Alright. What up? I'm Dax. I'm 6'1", but I'm on Tinder. I'm 6'7", so hit me up. Also, Duffy hits the golf ball like way farther than I do.
This is Katie P. She always does this. She goes.
Can I just ask, where did that come from?
So last year, like every time we would get an ace, I would just kind of like for a really long time and just kind of go. And then I kind of carried it over this year, and now I'm like the only one that does it. So I get so excited all by myself in the back, like going like that.
I would probably say our very first one to U of I, just because like I was pretty much me, the only returning competitive player, so we had like about 19 people who've never played in the badminton tournament before, so that was like really eye-opening to them, and they realized like, yeah, badminton is a serious sport, and like we can definitely like train for this and get better, you know?
Yeah. Probably our last tournament at Smith Lake in Alabama. It was just a really cool experience because actually what we did before then was go to the Bassmaster Classic, which is the Super Bowl of the sport, all the pros and stuff. So it was kind of in the same general area.
Yeah.
So we were able to go to that before we went to the tournament, and that was just an experience that, you know, it's just something you got to do if you're in a sport. So it's something I would definitely recommend.
Okay.
I would say U of I because we went there first semester and second semester, and we did better each time we went.
We scheduled the tournament in the Peoria Louisville Slugger Dome. So that was a really fun time. That dome is a really nice facility. And we also started games at midnight. So it was, you know, a nice team bonding experience. We got to go drive down to Peoria. We took the team out for a nice dinner. We got margaritas and tacos, so that was fun. Then we got to like go in the hot tub and stuff before our games because our games were so late. And then it was just like a fun time.
Recently we just took a trip to Notre Dame, and we ended up having to play 6 games with only 6 girls, and they were all back to back. And we got it done, and we finished the game strong, and you know, it was pretty impactful because it just showed how much like heart and effort everybody had on the team.
Probably nationals. That's like our biggest one. It's just I think we got the closest there, which kind of sucks because at the end of the season, but it was definitely the best trip.
When we went to go play Marquette, who's was the other #1 team in the division at the time, we were tied with them. We ended up losing that game, but like the trip, staying in the hotel, knowing how serious a moment that was, it all kind of brought us together, and it definitely made us stronger coming out of it and going into playoffs.
Oh, definitely Madeline Camp, the Huntsy coordinator. She has to get everything put together and on time, so she's usually the one on the bus first and got everything packed and ready to go for us.
Okay.
I'd have to say it'd either be me or Bianca on our twos team just because we're always the first people there and we're always ready to go.
Definitely Samuel Fisher. Samuel Fisher. If he sees this, he's gonna know. He's the one that shows up. He calls us, 10 minutes before we're about to. Where are you? You're freaking out. I need you to be here. But he's punctual. He's definitely punctual, and that's why he's on the board. And we appreciate his presence and love him for being here.
Andrew Moore. Andrew's been playing with us for 3 years, and I've seen improvement in his game more than anybody else's, and he's on top of his stuff all the time. Whether it's school or the club. I think he does multiple club sports. So. Andrew, without a doubt.
That would either be myself or our future president, Dana. We're both kind of worrywart, so we're gonna get there early and make sure everyone's on time. But
which member of your club is most likely to show up 2 hours early before the bus leaves?
I don't know about 2 hours, but I'd probably show up early.
That would be me, probably. I always, if I'm 5 minutes early, I'm late. So I always have people up early, and people would always, complain, why are we up so early? Anytime at a tournament, we're the first team to show up, and we're usually, half an hour early. So, but a lot of other, schools, they've contacted me. They're like, thanks for showing up early. We really appreciate it. It helped them out a lot, so.
2 hours before.
Yeah, definitely not you. Because you were late. You forgot your ID and had to go back when we left.
What was a major accomplishment from this past year?
So we are all new officers for the girls program, and we have a lot of stuff to have figured out with nationals and getting there and the hotel and all of that. So getting all that figured out was definitely a big accomplishment for us.
definitely bringing home hardware for the first time as a club. So our first tournament as usual, we had 3 people place in the top 3 of each of their brackets, and then 2 of them brought home trophies. So that was probably the best part. Like table tennis, as seen as a basement sport where you just play with your grandpa, is not what it is when you come to those tournaments.
I think one of our biggest accomplishments from this year was playing a 7th ranked team in the nation, Grand Valley State, and we played them at Marquette in February, and we were able to be competitive with them and go into double overtime. We ended up losing the game, but just being able to play at that high of a level was really exciting because we're a very new club.
I would say nationals, but I also want to say a major accomplishment for us was really just developing our team as a whole. We had 45 girls at one point in the fall, and that is some ridiculous number that we've never actually been able to hit. Yeah. So I think it was really just figuring all that out and being able to develop all those players and their skills. I think that was awesome.
This year is beating Ohio State. They've been our rivals for the last couple years, but they've always had like the step on us. So going to their tournament and beating them, that was big for us. It was a lot of fun, and it was a good team accomplishment.
In the spring, our first tournament of the year, we went undefeated and won, which I don't think we've done before. So that was big for us, and it set like the tone for how that season was going to be.
We actually won our first tournament this year in club history, so that was also really fun to be a part of, and it was good for the team.
I would say our major accomplishment would probably be getting a bid for both teams for nationals.
We did a lot of community service, and a lot of our girls, I think there was 5 or 6 of them that went to regionals, and then 2 moved on to zones, and now those 2 are moving on to nationals in a couple weeks, so that's really exciting for us.
A major accomplishment, just recently we qualified for the national championship here. A couple weekends ago we had a qualifier tournament where it was 30 degrees outside, 20-mile-an-hour winds, it was snowing at some points. The guys really grinded through that one and got the dub. That was huge for our season. It's going to be the first time for a lot of these guys making it to the national championship, so that's a big accomplishment for us.
Okay. Now, going back to the whole regional tournament thing, they have a point standings throughout the year, so there's 4 tournaments. And then, throughout the year, whoever has done the best overall, you're first, second, whatever. And currently, out of like 400 teams, we have a team sitting in 12th and 26th.
Definitely taking first place in the point system. That was like my biggest goal as soon as we came out with it. So winning that, and I always play like whether it's badminton or whatever I do. I'm a PE major, so I always have to take first place.
Right.
So getting that for the club was an awesome achievement.
So our major accomplishment was we went down to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and we actually won nationals. I've got the medal here. Okay. So that was really awesome. Cheer has never won nationals before, so yeah, it's pretty cool.
Cool.
We're all excited.
I had a concussion and we were still in this van, so everybody had to be quiet. So I had earplugs and like no one was allowed to speak. Everybody had to have their headphones. But there came a time in this trip where I started coloring, but I was coloring our different teammates' faces, and with my concussed brain, they turned out to look disgustingly awful. And so everybody just wanted this picture and wanted me to draw them these pictures, and I am the terrible artist. And these pictures, I will bring one to the banquet if everybody wants to see one, are disgustingly ugly. And that was a highlight. That went on for like 20 minutes until I had to take my nap. But it was good. I think that was a good story that everybody really appreciated on our team.